This is speech number 2 of Honors Public Speaking, the informative speech. There is one job field that will always need constant employees, and that is education. There is always a need for teachers and educators. When deciding a career, teaching is something that you want to do because you cannot teach or learn to become an educator. Also, not to mention, it takes a lot of work to become a teacher. You have many tests, classes, and overall mindset to teach children with love in your heart. There are 3 basic things or questions that you must accomplish and ask yourself when becoming a teacher. First, what exams or tests are there required? Second, how many classes or years of study will it take for me to get my degree? Third, how do I get a job in the education field and start making money? Knowing these answers to these 3 questions can make or break your career with deciding to become an educator throughout this journey through some tips and hear my personal story. The first question that we should ask ourselves, are there any tests and exams? In each state, tests and exams vary. Also, depending on your major, which could be elementary education, special education, or secondary education, you may have to take more or less tests. In Virginia, for an elementary education major student, you must take 7 standardized tests, which may include the VCLA, Praxis 2, and the RVE. Some of these tests also may include multiple parts, such as the VCLA, which is a reading and a writing part. Most tests you have to pay for out of pocket, or some schools have programs to pay for you. For example, here on Norfolk State campus, we have a program called Teacher Prep that could help you pay for some of those standardized tests. When taking the tests or exams, in most cases, you must pass one to go on to the next test or next course in your program. Second question, how many years of study or classes will I have to take to become a teacher or educator? When you first come to college, you do not go straight into your education courses. You must take general education courses first, such as your maths, your sciences, your generalized Englishes, and history classes. Many students do not take education classes until the beginning of their sophomore year or even their junior year because it's a lot of basic knowledge that you need before you are able to take those education classes. In normal cases, it takes 4 years to get a bachelor's in education. Now, this could change or could vary in time spans. You could graduate earlier depending on if you have taken classes in high school, or it may take longer if you have physical education attached to it, or special education, or even music education. So all of those extra classes or extra add-ons to just a regular education course may involve it being a longer process of getting out of college and getting your degree. After your first 2 years of general education classes, you get into your education-based classes, which you have to pass in order to go to the next step until you finish up your degree. So it takes time. It takes time for you to finish up those classes each semester. So until you finish up that class that semester, you're normally not allowed to go to your next class. Also, sometimes you have to apply to get into the school education or your education program at your school before you're able to take those upper level courses. For example, junior and senior level classes. That's how it is at Norfolk State, and you have to apply to the school of education, get accepted, and then you're allowed to go on to your next set of classes. Last question, how to get a job and make more money. When getting a job, you have to first figure out what school district that you want to apply to. Now, there's a couple ways that you could apply into the school district. You could apply for the whole school district and go to a lot and multiple interviews, or you could apply and just to one school that you really, really like and have an interview with them and possibly could get a job there. The job of education does not make a lot of money, so when deciding on education, you cannot think about money. Money is what make the world go round, but in education, as of right now, it is not the most lucrative or money-making job. So when you decide education, make sure that you're deciding for the right reason and not, oh, just you trying to find a job of money, because education is not that. Teachers are always in need, so finding a job will not be very hard, but make sure that you choose a school district or a job that's for you and not just settling. Many school districts are contracted each school year, so once you find a job that you may have to sign a contract. For example, with myself, before coming out of high school, I received a contract from Chesapeake Public Schools in the 757 area, and I am technically on contract, or I am going to have to sign a contract, or they have a contract ready and available for me for when I get out of college. So in conclusion, today I've talked about 3 important things that you need to know when you want to become a teacher: the tests and exams, classes and years of study, and how to get a job and make money. Now, if you are able to take all of that, then welcome to class. Remember, education is the stem of all other jobs and fields that people go into. In addition, it takes a strong person to want and teach children of the new generation. I personally want to go into the education field because I want to see the next generation grow and develop. Finally, always remember, it's the power of you and make and see the change that you want, starting with education. Thank you.